Hello, Bhavesh. Bhavesh.
Hmm?
Hello. Can you hear me?
I'm in mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you do your homework?
I didn't took this class.
What? I can't get you.
I didn't took this class.
You
I
didn't?
didn't attend this class, ma'am.
You didn't attend last class.
No,
You were there.
no,
This
ma'am.
is science class.
Science class.
This is
Oh.
science class.
Science.
Oh, I forgot.
Madam, we got message that PD class is there today.
Yeah, ma'am, we have. We have by 8:30.
Okay, one more class is there today.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Personal
Okay.
development and English grammar class.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So, I don't know. Your friend, I think she won't come. Maybe we'll wait for 1 more minute.
Okay, ma'am.
What homeworks I gave you last class? Do you remember?
Ma'am, you told me to like add salt and sugar.
Salt and sugar. Yeah, that one. Then?
And 1 second. You said me to take some sand and salt,
Yeah.
put it together in an empty glass, observe it, and come tomorrow with the results.
Yes. Did you do that experiment?
Ma'am, I didn't do that.
You didn't do.
Like-
Okay. It's fine. If you didn't do, it's fine. But what do you think? When you do this experiment, what do you think? You're taking some salt and sand, and you're combining. You're making sand. You're putting in the glass of water, as well as you're putting sand also. Sand as well as salt, both in the glass of water. You're mixing it very good. You're stirring and mixing it nicely. What do you observe after 2 minutes or 3 minutes? What do you observe? The first thing that you can observe is that you will be observing that salt will be dissolved in the water, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we have two components. One is salt, one is sand. In that, sand will not dissolve in the water, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But salt will get dissolved in the water, right? So this is the first thing that you will observe. The second thing that you will observe is, my question here is, can you separate this now? Can you separate?
Ma'am, we can do like two things. First, we can remove the insoluble substance with
Very good.
filtration.
Yes, super.
And then so the salt will be dissolved in water. So we
Very
will
good.
use distillation.
Very nice, very nice. So basically you can separate, you can try separating. You cannot get the perfect raw material back. Like I gave you salt in a powder form, but you cannot give me after separation in the powder form only, right? But
Yes, ma'am.
basically you can separate the sand and the salt by filtration method. These are the observations I want you to get, like whether can you do this separation in this mixture? If yes, then how will you do it? Then what your observation in this experiment? Everything I need you to know. So better you write it in your notebook, okay? If you're interested, you can write it in the notebook.
Okay, ma'am.
And next one is like I told you, you can try churning milk or curd to get butter, right? Did you try that?
I
Did
saw
you
my
try?
mother doing that. I saw my mother doing that.
Okay, fine.
She's
But
doing
anyway, you have saw that, right? Your mother doing. And then I also gave you some extra homeworks like create the table, form that table that you are having in your NCRT book, the blue color table. I told you to create the table with your own examples, right? That one I gave you those homeworks in the class. If you are interested, you can do like that. It's fine if you didn't do, but it's better to do because in your exam point of view, it is very important for you to know more things. And you also spoke about natural manure, the tea strains, leftover tea powders. I also told you to go and explore more natural manures. What are the other natural manures we have other than tea powder? So these things you can do in your after this class. Again, you can go to mom, dad, or ask, or like you can go and search in internet as well. Okay. So now, last class we saw till this. That is what is separation. Why do we need separation? What are all the important things from separation we can do? And what are all the substances that we can separate? There are two kinds of substances, like you can separate or inseparable, separable, that you can separate some things you cannot separate. For example, if I, instead of sand, if I tell you take a glass of water, mix salt and sugar, you cannot separate them by filtration, right? So some are separable, some are inseparable. So till the basic things we saw in the last class. Now we'll go somewhat deep. And now we will see some of the important techniques that are used for separation. Okay. So this will again play an important role in your exam point of view, as well as you need to know this. Not sharing my screen. I think your friend won't come.
You're lagging. You're lagging a little.
Can
Oh,
you hear me? Yeah.
now I can hear you.
Yes. Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am. L2
Okay.
separation of substance.
Yes. Lecture 2, that is separation of substance. So today we will mainly cover methods of separation. So what are the methods of separation we have? Till now we generally spoke about what is separation. Separation means basically this, like that we spoke, right? But now we are going to formally talk about the methods of separation. Okay. So today we can cover only 4 topics, I guess. So that is hand picking, threshing, winnowing, sieving. I'll repeat: hand picking, threshing, winnowing, sieving. So all these 4 are very important. And with this, you also have decantation method, distillation method, filtration method. Those are all next level. We will see in the next class, upcoming class. But these things are basic. From this only we'll get those things. So first today we will see this 4 basic separation. So these 4 basic separations are very old. That is, these separations are followed by our ancestors. These are the separation methods that are done by our ancestors, or you can say these are a basic separation method every day-to-day life we can see. Our mom would have did, our grandmother would have did. So these are the basic modes of separation day-to-day life we see. Okay. That is hand picking. Hand picking, already we spoke about that in the last class something. Threshing, winnowing, and sieving. So what is the formal definition of hand picking? Hand picking, where you can use hand picking? That is the question. Can you answer me this question? Where you can use hand picking method to separate the things?
Ma'am, we can use like hand picking for rice and stone,
Very
flour
good.
and barren, I guess. And
Yes. Then in the first class we did some activity, like we separated the fruits and vegetables. That is, we did with hand picking, right? What is hand picking? Divide the word into 2. You get the definition straight away. Divide the word into 2. Hand slash picking. Hand plus picking. Pick the objects. If you can separate the objects by just picking up them with your hands. Understood? If
yes,
you
ma'am.
can separate objects just by picking them with your hands. And thus the method is called hand picking. Okay. I'm giving you some things and I'm telling you to separate. If you can separate them with just pick them in your hand and just separate it with your hands only, no, without any modern technology, without any big process, you can simply separate with the help of your hand. That is hand picking. So now the question is, in which of the situations you can use hand picking? Only if your objects are in the larger size, right? If they should be larger size, only then you can use hand picking method. For example, if I am asking you to separate fruits from vegetables, you can do. But if I'm asking you to separate sand from salt, can you do that with your hand? No. Why? Because sand and salt particles are very, very minute, so that you cannot even hold in your hand. So the simple definition of hand picking is wherever you can pick the objects with the help of your hands and separate them. Pickable objects. You should pick in your hands. That is a simple way to remember. Wherever you can pick the objects and separate them easily without any big machineries or any big process, that is hand picking. Now, can you give me some definition on your own? What is hand picking?
The hand picking is like we can separate them using with our hands.
Yes.
Only if they are,
Yes.
they can be seen by our eye.
Very good.
And can be
Larger in size.
And larger in size.
More than seeing in our eyes, it should be larger in size. Because if you take salt and sand, those salt and sand also you can see in your eyes, but you cannot separate them once you mix them, right? So more than seeing through the eyes, you should say they should be bigger in size, so that you can pick them in your hand and separate them. Okay, so that is a basic definition of hand picking, and lot of examples you can give for hand picking. That is very simple. Now we'll go to threshing. Do you have any idea about threshing? No, don't see your book. Close your book.
I never read threshing. I never read threshing.
Okay, so you never read threshing. It's fine. While we are in the class, don't see the book. If you see the book, curiosity will go. Okay, but do see the book after this class. That is important. After every class, go to your NCERT book. Whatever we learned in the class, go and read in your book. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Go and see the definitions. We'll also have a class especially for book reading, so that we will read each and everything in our NCERT book. We will have one class. Okay. So threshing is, have you ever seen, I don't know, I think you would have not seen this. Threshing is something like process of beating the grains against the ground, by which grains get separated from their stalk. Have you ever seen paddy or rice? Paddy, paddy is something rice. Paddy. This picture is there, right?
Ma'am, we beat up the crops on something.
Yes. So why do we do that, Bhavesh? Why do we do that?
Maybe to get the seeds out of the grains.
Very good. So we have a stem. This green color, right hand side, can you see right or left side? You can see some green color stem, and seeds are attached to that, right? There will be tons and tons. There will be billion number of seeds will be there. Tons and tons of seeds will be there. If I'm telling you, Bhavesh, go to an apple tree, go to one small medium-sized tree or some apple tree or some mango tree. Go and pick mangoes from that. Can you pick?
No,
you can pick, right? You can. If I'm giving you ladder, if I'm giving you enough properties, you can pick from your hand, right?
Yes.
You can go pick the mango from the tree and you can give me, right?
And with supplies I can get.
Yeah, with supplies. But if I'm telling you to go to paddy field, take a paddy and pick a seed from the paddy and give me, it's hard because there are tons of seeds. Like this, can you see in the right hand side of the image? It's tons of seeds. Million, that one seed is it will be very small, and you have tons of paddy like that, and you will have billion number of seeds. How will you go and pick each and everything in your hand? And rice will be very small. Have you seen rice? Raw rice? It will be
Yes,
very
ma'am.
small. How will you go and mango will be this much big, you can pick from your hand. But rice will be very small. How will you pick? You can't do that. So for that to separate this word is very important. To separate the paddy or rice seeds or grains, basically you can use the word grains from their stem. If you want to separate the grains from their stem, you can simply beat them forcefully, like beat them forcefully against the ground. If you beat like that, what will happen? The seed will come out. Seed will come out from the paddy. That is, sorry, the paddy stem. That will come out from the stem. So I'll show you one video so that you'll understand this process. Okay, I'll show the video in the last. Now, did you understand the basic process? It's simply the process of separating the grains from its stem. But how will you separate? Beat that against the ground. So when you beat the full thing, that right, can you see the right hand side thing with the greens,
Yes, ma'am.
green leaves also. If you beat that,
Yes.
you have to hold that. You have to hold that, and if you beat against that the ground, the greens will shatter. The grains will shatter, and the shattered greens you should collect. That's it. That is how you will separate the grains from the paddy. I mean, paddy stem. Okay. This process is called threshing. The process of beating the grains against the ground by which the grains get separated from their stalk. So the technical word to name that is stalk. Can you see this this side? Can you see my cursor moving?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see where I'm moving my cursor? Can you see the green line there?
Yes.
That is called stalk. From the stalk only we need to separate these. These are the grains we need to separate. So from the stalk, we need to separate the grains, the brown color part. We need to separate the brown color part from the green color part. So to do that, we are using threshing method. So what is the method of threshing now? Can you tell me in simple words?
Ma'am, we need to like beat up the plant against the ground.
Yes. So use these two words, technical words, then only you will get marks. Grains against the ground by which the grains get separated from their stalk. Okay. You have to use the word stalk and grains. Okay. So in down, if you see, that is the formal definition given in your NCERT book. The process that is used to separate grains from stalk is threshing. Simple. Okay. Process that is used to separate grains from stalk. In this process, the stalks are beaten to free the grain seeds. We are beating the green color part against the ground so that the brown color part will get free from the green color part. Okay. Sometimes threshing is done with the help of bullocks. Machines are also used. See, nowadays we have modern technology. Before and all, people used to take them in the bulk and used to beat hours together. They'll beat and they'll collect the grains. But nowadays, no need, right? We have technology. We have
like this.
You have a picture in your book. Yes.
I think you may see this.
Yes, that only. The man doing the threshing work.
So,
yes, the man what? The left hand. Yes. Man doing threshing. Can you see that one only? So did you understand the process of threshing? What they'll do? Can you imagine the process when I say?
Yes, ma'am.
You can understand, right? So threshing, nowadays we have machineries to do that. Nowadays, before and all, in ancient time, people used to go to farmland. They'll take bulks and bulks of stalks, and they do this again and again so that it will get separated. But nowadays, no need. We have machines. Technology has got improved. We have machines to do that. I'll show you one video also. So next, before that, we'll see what is winnowing. Okay, winnowing is again winnowing. Winnowing means do you know anything about winnowing? Should not see the book. Without seeing book, you should say what is winnowing.
That's also new for me.
Okay, so to easily remember the winnowing means you have to think. Winnowing means wind. You have the word wind, W-I-N in the starting. It means wind. The process of separating things with the help of wind. Understood? We will see what we are going to separate, okay, and how we will separate. But just to remember, if somebody asks you what is the basic idea of winnowing, you should say the process of separating things with the help of wind. Just wind. Wind, winnowing. Wind, winnowing. Remember that. Okay, now we will see the activity. Okay, this will be your question now. Try separating sand and sawdust. Do you know what is sawdust? Sawdust is something you can think like powdered leaf. You have dry leaves. You seen leaves that got dried up, and the dried up, if you do powder of that dried up, it will be very light, right? Very light. Sawdust will be very light. They will be very light. Remember this thing. I'll show you what is sawdust. So these are the sawdust. Have you ever seen this sawdust?
Ma'am,
I think you can't see the screen, right?
No, ma'am. I can't see.
I think now can you see the sawdust?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
So these are the sawdust. This is the right hand side image. This is the sawdust. This is the sawdust. These, see, sawdust is something that comes from the wood. Have you seen they'll do the wooden things?
Ma'am, that's what I first thought.
Yeah, it's fine. Now it is
That's
confirmed.
the first.
This is sawdust. Okay, the sawdust will be very powdery. It will be very light.
I thought this because in the name only there is saw.
Yes.
The wood. There are
Very
two
good.
types of saws: chainsaw and that drum. In
Very
Telugu, we
nice.
call it trumpum.
Yes, with the help, well, when we do the sawing.
Yeah,
we
ma'am.
get
Two people use
Yeah.
that.
Yes, very good. You can remember easily with that name. So the sawdust comes from the wooden particles. Remember, now you can remember easily, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So have you seen the sawdust? Have you touched it?
Oh, no, ma'am.
But if you touch, no, it will be very light. Very light. It will be very lighter particles. They're very lighter particles. Or you can consider powdered dry leaves also. Powdered dry leaves are also very light particles. Okay. Try separating sand and powdered dry leaves or sawdust. Which is heavier, sand or sawdust?
Sand.
Sand. You know that. You're confirmed, right?
I know. I lifted sand and it's a little bit heavy.
Sand will be heavier than sawdust. I told you sawdust is very light. If you have time, you go and I don't know where you will get the sawdust to see that, but try to see the sawdust. Try to touch it. Take it. It will be very light. So when you compare sand and sawdust, sawdust will be very light. Sand will be a little heavier than sawdust. How can you separate the? I'm taking a bowl. I'm mixing the sawdust and sand. Okay, together. How can I separate this now?
Like we take some machine that produces wind and like.
Okay, so now basically, you know, the winnowing definition. With that, you're trying to connect this and telling me, like with the help
Like,
of wind, you can do something, right? That's actually very good try. I appreciate you for that. Yes, with the help of wind only we are going to do. But how we are going to do? See me, I hope you can see me. Take a plate or bowl in which you are having the sawdust and the sand both together, okay? Keep it near your shoulder. Near your shoulder. Tilt it slightly downwards. Okay, slightly downwards. It should not just go down. It should not get down. Slightly you should tilt. And watch out that air should be in this side. Okay, or sideways or anyway, mostly this side. And if I do little bit like this, if I do, you can observe one thing. Whatever it is lighter particles, no? Because with the help of wind, it will go down. But sand will be remaining there only.
and because of there is some definition with this. Like
Yeah, definition part is there. Okay, we'll come to the definition part. I'll show you the definition. But can you understand the process?
Yes, ma'am.
Here, basically, what is happening? Yes, you can. The question for the second one is yes, you can separate sand and sawdust with the help of winnowing method. How? Because the wind has. So, if you stand, if there is a heavy wind, you are standing, you can see your hair is going zzz, like this, your hair will be dancing in the wind, right? Why? Because hair is lighter. That's why it is dancing here and there. But your body, it won't dance. We will stand rigid. But hair will be moving in the wind. The same thing. Sand will not go down because of its weight. It's heavier, so it won't go down. Wind cannot move the sand, but sawdust is very, very light. So wind can easily move the sawdust, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you imagine the process, Bhavesh?
Yes.
I'll show you the video, don't worry. But now tell me now whatever I said, whatever you understood. Tell me back.
Try separating sand and sawdust. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we need something that like as you said, we need, if the sawdust is lighter,
Yes.
so the wind can easily move it,
Yes.
take it
Yes.
away, like push it. But the sand is heavier, so
Okay.
it
Yes.
so it it the wind cannot like push it or take it away.
Yes. Correct. So
So
one more thing I'll say. Yeah, that is winnowing. That is simply, yeah, this process is called winnowing. With the help of wind, you are trying to separate sand and sawdust, right? And wind can effectively remove the sawdust from sand particles, right?
yes,
So this
ma'am.
is called winnowing. If the wind is helping you to separate two things, then that process is simply called winnowing. Okay. Now I'll tell you one more example. Take stones. Take stones, okay, and put some sawdust. In your hand only, take some stones, some sawdust, okay, mix it.
I know what
Try
will
to
happen.
blow. Try to blow like
What will happen? I know what will happen, ma'am.
what's going to happen?
The sawdust is lighter, so it will go away.
Fly.
The
Right?
stone
Sawdust
will
will fly.
remain on our hand.
Yes, this is called winnowing. Okay, this process is called winnowing. So what is the basic idea of threshing, beating?
Like we beat up the plants.
Yes. In the base, what is the basic idea of winnowing? Hey, with the help of wind, we are doing that should be there. You should remember that one particular point is important. With the help of wind, we are doing. In threshing, we are beating up, so that with the help of heavy force, we are separating. Here also force, but the force is in the form of wind. Okay. Now, I think, so see, this is you asked me definition, right? This is the formal definition for winnowing process. Can you see that lady? That is what I was exactly trying to tell you. That lady is separating but she has taken the sawdust and the grains. Grains is falling down, but the sawdust is flying because sawdust is very, very light. Yes? The
Yes,
grains are going down because grains are heavier than the sawdust. That is how exactly they'll do winnowing. Okay. So as usual, nowadays, we don't want to do winnowing and all because machineries are there. Heavy machines are there. Farming has improved a lot. Technology has improved a lot. So nowadays, they are not doing winnowing by hands like the shaking and all. They are not doing. They have advanced technology, advanced machineries to do the winnowing process. But you should know process of separating lighter particles from heavier particles. This is a keyword. Process of separating lighter particles from heavier particles with the help of wind. That is another keyword. With the help of the only help of wind is called winnowing. Okay? Understood?
Okay,
Now, did you get the clear picture of winnowing?
yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now let's see the video. Okay. I just looked this video. I hope you can see. Can you hear the sound?
Ma'am, can you play it? I can't hear it.
There is nothing to hear, but even though I'm I hope you can see the screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Now we'll play the video, okay? Can you see the video?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'll play from first. Listen it carefully. That's all. Did you understand the process? You're muted. Did you understand the process?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So this video basically, so first, you know the farming process. No, first they will harvest. First they will harvest. Harvesting is something this one, the exactly whatever it's in the picture. The machine will get the, this is called full paddy, right? This is full paddy. Can you see the stalk and the grains there? Yes. Combination of stalk and the grains is called paddy. And now see, they are harvesting with the help of machine. After harvesting, they need to be threshed. That is, threshing is beating that full thing so that the grains will get separated from the stalk. That is what they are doing. Then this is what threshing. I told you, right? Beating them against the ground. See that so that the grains are getting separated. Can you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Nowadays, modern machines are doing that process. You don't want to do machines. This is a modern machine that collects and threshes at the same time.
Yes, ma'am.
This is winnowing. Can you see the grains are going down? The chaff, that is the particles that are lying are flying up.
Yes, ma'am.
That's all. Yes, so we will now, I'll ask you some questions because this process for hearing it will be very easy, but when it comes to questions, you will be getting confused here and there. So let's see the questions, okay? So yes, so can you see the first question? Which of the following methods is used to separate grains from chaff?
And
Chaff is something that is like how the sawdust is there, very light particles. In that video, have you seen the chaff? Chaff is something, rice is there, no? When we harvest the paddy, I mean, from there we are having rice. That one won't be like before we have some process of these things. After that only we'll get rice. But rice will be covered with something called chaff, outer cover, chaff. We won't use that. That will be given to cows for feeding, for their food. They'll be given as food for them. But we won't use that chaff. Chaff is something that is going to cover the rice. That chaff will be very light when compared to grains. So if you want to separate the chaff and the grain, just now we saw in the video also.
ma'am, I said winnowing.
Yes, winnowing. Exactly. It's similar example to separate sawdust and sand. The same example. Here grains and chaff are used. Second one, what is the primary principle behind winnowing? Options are there. Primary principle behind winnowing.
What do you mean by primary principle?
You look at the options, you will understand.
Oh, there are options.
What is winnowing? Definition of winnowing. You're muted.
Difference in density?
No, not density.
Mm.
So what is differences in density means? Like if I'm telling you oil and water is having different densities. I am mixing both
Oh.
oil and water. Okay, so can I separate them with the help of winnowing? No, right?
No, I thought density means weight.
Yeah. Then see the all the options. What is the definition of winnowing?
Difference in
Separating the lighter particles from heavier particles.
yes, ma'am.
So
Difference in particle size.
yes, very good. Differences in particle size. Don't get confused. That's why that I told you, right? When you hear the definitions and all, you'll be thinking you understood, but when you get the questions, you'll get messed up there. So different. What is the primary principle behind winnowing? That is differences in particle size.
Sizes.
Not because there are differences in solubility, not because differences in color, not because of density. So here you may get confused with density and particle size. Remember this example. Density, remember this example of oil and water. You can't separate them with the help of winnowing. They are also having different densities, right? So remember that example. So particle size, okay? Then which of the following substances is best separated using hand picking?
Salt and sand, rice and water, stones and flour and sugar. Ma'am, I say stones and sand, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, stones and sand, you can do hand picking method. Yes, that's right. Next.
See which properties.
In sieving, which property of particles is utilized for separation? I didn't take sieving for you, right? We didn't see sieving, right?
But I think I know sieving.
Okay, then you can tell me.
Ma'am, I can't see like it's done. At A bit it's done.
Now can you see?
Yeah, ma'am. Then ma'am, size?
Okay, I didn't take that topic to you. It's fine if you can't answer also.
Okay.
Okay, next.
Which of the following mixtures can be separated using both winnowing and sieving?
This is also, you can leave if you want, or you can guess the answer. Can you guess the answer? No?
Sieving. Ma'am, I say sand and iron fillings, ma'am.
Okay, with the help of winnowing and sieving. Okay, fine. Let's see that. After once we study sieving, I'll give you this questions again. Okay.
Okay,
What is
ma'am.
the main drawback? Okay, see third question. What is the main drawback of hand picking as a separation method? Drawback of hand picking. See the options.
So,
Read out the options. Main drawback of hand picking. Option A, it is very slow and labor intensive, or option B, it cannot separate mixtures with similar properties, or C, it requires expensive equipment, or D, it is not effective for fine particles?
Ma'am, I think it cannot separate mixtures with similar properties.
Okay, can you give me examples?
Ma'am, like we can separate sand and salt with hand picking. They
Yeah.
both are in same size, same
Yes.
properties.
Yes, that is right. That you can accept. Yes. One more option. Any one more option. That is, they've asked you main drawback. Can't guess?
I think it is slow and labor intensive.
Okay. Then you see the option D. It is not effective for fine particles. Right. Hand picking is not effective for fine particles, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Then why didn't you tell that option then?
Oh.
Why it is not effective for fine particles? What is the definition of hand picking? Hand picking itself, I told you, whatever the things that you can pick in your hand and separate them, that is only those things only you can separate with the help of hand picking method. If I give you salt and sugar, you can't do hand picking because they are very fine particles, right? Right?
Yes, ma'am.
It is not effective for fine particles. Option D will be the first answer that you would have told. Okay, it is not effective for fine particles.
Okay, ma'am.
So remember, okay, fourth one. Which of the following best describes the process of winnowing?
Pouring a mixture through a sieve, allow wind to blow away lighter particles, heating a mixture to separate compounds. I say like I think A and B are correct. Like B is
Only
B
one
is a
answer
little
is there. Only one answer is there.
B.
B only? Which one?
B, allow wind to blow away
Yes.
lighter particles.
Yes. That is the thing. That is the right answer. So if winnowing comes means wind, only wind. No, nothing else to think of. So today, that's it for today. So what are all we saw today? We saw methods of separation, hand picking, threshing, winnowing, sieving. Today we didn't see sieving. So these three we saw: hand picking, threshing, winnowing. Okay, next class will cover sieving. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So hand picking, threshing, winnowing. Remember the definitions.
Okay, ma'am.
After this class, just go through your NCERT book and read out. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
And one more thing, today you have test, right? So for test, I have given the topics from hand picking and methods of separation, only two.
Ma'am, today or tomorrow?
It starts from today, actually. It starts from today 5 p.m. and till Sunday 5 p.m. You can write the test in this from today 5 p.m. till tomorrow 5 p.m. You have time. You can write anytime.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so the test questions, today we saw some questions, right? You will get the same kind of questions in your test also. So you got confused like that, don't get confused in your test. Read the question twice and answer, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
And read out the NCERT book as well. From NCERT book only you will have questions, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
So for homework for the next class is the same thing. Whatever the last two homeworks you didn't do, right? The same thing you do. And then you have to do and see this activity if you can. Try separating sand and sawdust, okay?
Ma'am, the one of the homeworks is we should write the entire table.
Yes. That blue color table, I'll show you better. Third chapter. I hope you have the book, so no problem with that. This one I told you. See, this one, blue color table.
Okay, ma'am.
Can you see my screen? This blue color table, I told you to make your own blue color table. Instead of these three, give your own example. And
Okay,
write the
ma'am.
purpose for which we do the separation. What do we do with the components, separated components? Your own
And
examples.
only copy the separation process or entire process?
No, entirely you should see this separate stones from rice, churning milk to obtain butter, separate tea leaves. These three you should not take. It's already in the book. I'm telling you, except these three, you take any other example and write purpose for which we do the separation. And then write what do we do with the separate components.
Okay, ma'am.
Make a table, fill the things in on your own. Don't take it from except these things.
Okay, ma'am.
And see, if you see this method, today we saw this method of separations only. Today we saw hand picking, threshing, and winnowing, only winnowing. See, sieving, you don't want to read the topic. We'll see tomorrow. Okay? So these three topics you learn, and for test, you will get the questions from book. So read the book. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Bye then.
Bye, ma'am.